All right, a little bit of a unscripted take, but here we go. My name is Soap Series, and I'm currently attending Full Sail University. Um, Currently making this video simply for myself for posterity's sake, I guess. This is uh, pre-project and portfolio one. I just got finished up with PIT 2, so this is what I've made that my instructor has told us to take creative liberty and just create something that we ourselves want to create. What I then have created is a small beginning of a roguelike system in the ship game that we've been working on all of week three. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a bit about some of the things that I did and how I made some stuff, and yeah, it's just be fun. That is not what it's doing. It is. Here we go. All right, yeah. So firstly, let's start with the overall UI. So this is a basic uh, widget blueprint for a HUD. We made store attached to a variable, so every time you hit a large asteroid, you will get, I believe it was what 70. Let's actually see. Let's see. Every time you hit a large asteroid with your pellets, you get 20 points, and then medium is worth 50, and then small is worth 100. So wave system also is attached to a variable as are lives. So if you hit like so an asteroid, you become invulnerable for a few seconds, can't shoot, and then yeah. The amount of asteroids on the field, on the amount of large asteroids on the field, is determined via your your current wave. So we were on wave one there, so we only had what to deal with one large asteroid. And now here is what I have personally designed. I have personally created these buttons in another widget blueprint that appears after only the first wave has been defeated. This is kind of like my base template, what I'm going to start working on. So we have homing projectiles. We'll select this, wait for our new wave to begin. And as you can see, we have quite quite powerful homing. If you saw it, I don't know if you just saw it right there or not, but focus on the ends of the projectiles and they kind of dart all over the place. I ended up using a multi-sphere trace so that I could detect when this projectile is within range to be homing. Like right there, it's a little bit goofy because of the lifespan. But when a projectile is within range, then it will track to the root component, the default root component of the asteroid. So yeah, there's that ability, and you don't get any more abilities for right now. I'm gonna make it so that every 5 waves you encounter a boss, and yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Let's go on to the next ability here. The projectile homing has a homing moving component for projectile movement, and that's how we get the homing feature. It did not take long at all to implement, honestly. I did all three of these in one day. So yeah, our projectile spread here is just a basic shotgun. This took a bit longer than I was expecting it to, and because I hadn't learned yet the features I would need. Uh, Multiplying Quintarians is cool, but also like I didn't know what node I needed to use. But then I found it. It is combine rotators, and that will give you a product of two rotators, so you can make uh for in this particular case, it makes the other projectiles spawn perpendicular to the base one in the middle. So we have one at, I believe, 25 degrees and negative 25 degrees to give it the effect of a shotgun spread mechanic. And then our last one, I still need to do some testing on. I want to implement a different sprite for it. It is called the arc ball, right here. And basically, yeah, press F to fire a homing arc ball. We learned UMG stuff. It's this week, actually. It was last week, sorry. And I wanted to basically make it very known to the user, like, hey, you can press this key to fire an ability, and there we go. And how it disappears. It is supposed to have, it's going to have some particle effects that I want to have it take effect, but you can only have one at a time, which is very important for balancing reasons. It also lasts about 2 seconds as opposed to 0.6 seconds of the projectiles, and you can still fire projectiles and fire your roll at the same time. It has also a slight homing feature, just because like if you just straight up miss, it does try to correct itself a little bit. But yeah, that's what I've made so far, and I'm very eager to see what I'm going to learn in Projects and Portfolio 1. If you like this type of idea or anything, let me know. I'd love to implement it a bit more, expand upon it a bit more, and just see where this all takes me, really. Again, making this more so for posterity's sake. I will do a brief rundown of the code that I use really fast. It won't take more than maybe 10 minutes ish, I think. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So for blueprints, oh wow, that's interesting. Okay, we're back now. Sorry about that. So what I ended up using and creating, so asteroid types, the enumeration for asteroid types, BPI restart game, all of this was provided for me through the class. I did not have to make it myself. The things I did make are mostly card type, because I again want this to be a roguelike type of game. WBP Arc Ball, WBP Card Select, and the child classes of the projectiles. That's mostly what I made outside of my assignment. Inside my assignment, I made BB Projectile, I made the spawner, BP store as well, I believe I made. It's it's been kind of a hectic week. So yeah, let's just get into what exactly we're doing. Starting with player. So let's take a look. As you can see, we have an event called Upgrade. Well, what do we call this event? You might be wondering. Well, we call it in Card Selects. This is the designer for Card Selects. These are the buttons. The little gold outline there is the button component itself, because I'm not really sure how to make the images stretch to hide the button. I'm sure I'll figure that out eventually. Photograph is pretty simple, honestly. It looks complicated, it's really not. So, when this widget shows, we are going to get our HUD. We have to make sure it's our HUD. And we're going to save it to a variable. Shoot. Called HUD. Then we're going to also save the player. This is going to be important for later for this specifically. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we're going to get and save the spawner. We only have one spawner, so this is the proper node to use. If we have multiple spawners, we get all actors of class. So, when we click on the first button, which is this one, this is the first button, projectile spread. It's a shotgun mechanic. When we click on this button, we are going to hide the HUD. We are going to do the upgrade, which is just simply, we're going to make it so the next wave spawns, we're going to spawn the current wave, and then we're going to show our mouse cursor. Oh, sorry, we're going to hide the mouse cursor after we've selected something. And then we're going to set on player. We're going to get player. We're going to set the card type of the player to shotgun bullets. And then we are going to call the BPI, the blueprint interface of upgrade. We're going to be like, hey, player, it's time for you to call your upgrade using this card type, which in player is simply just, hey, look, we got event upgrade. Here's our current card type. And we're using a switch node to be like, all right, what current card type are we using? This is the ability that we are going to get. And then we're going to show the tutorial if it's the arc ball, which is just simply that little UI widget that said press F to shoot the arc ball. And then This is our actual input action since it's separate from our shooting action. So it's going to spawn the arc ball. It's going to use the transform of our player character and the rotation and the location. So it spawns basically directly in the middle and it will shoot out for about 10 seconds. I'll see if I can't also find that. That should be actually in the arc ball itself. And then we're just going to be like, hey, do we already have the tutorial displaying? If we do, then we're going to remove the tutorial. And if we don't, nothing happens. Right? Because the tutorial's not there, we don't need this, so nothing happens. No errors. It's great. It's nice. We have, it's quite a lot actually in the player components. And it's a lot because I decided to put all the upgrades that we're going to get right here in the player itself. So this is the shooting component. We're just seeing, can we move, can we shoot, and are we not invulnerable? If all of those are true, then we will check for our upgrades. Do we have the shotgun upgrade? I want to change this because I want to be like a bit more efficient. I want there to be multiple upgrades at once. I'm just not sure how I'm going to do that quite yet. I'm sure I'll figure that out later, but we'll see. So, do we have the shotgun upgrade? Cool. We do. Nice. This is the combined rotators I was talking about. And this is just, we're just spawning 3 projectiles. Very cheap and easy way to get our shotgun mechanic working. I think it's actually really cool. I wasn't aware of this. And then, like, alright, we don't have the shotgun upgrade. Do we have homing at least? And then if we do, then we spawn a separate projectile called BP projectile underscore homing. This one has the homing component enabled, which I'll show right now. So this is the base projectile. We don't need this. My mistake. Homing. So we have homing selected here. I can just type it here. Homing. Or double knot. Is it not called homing? Oh wait, my bad. We're not projectile movement. That's why. Homing. It is homing projectile. And our magnitude, our homing acceleration magnitude, as you can see, is like, I don't know, 10 million, I believe that is. Yeah, I think that's 10 million. It's very snappy, and that is intentional. I wanted the players to feel as though, like, the projectiles were, in fact, visibly homing in, and not just slightly homing. And then all we're doing here basically is like, hey, from the sphere trace, are we detecting an asteroid? If we are, then boom, that's gonna be our new homing projectile component. You're gonna home to this target. It's very simple. Projectile. Yeah. All right. The final thing I just kind of want to talk about right now is what I did for the arc shooting, or not arc shooting, but more so just like the arc components, the arc ball. Where is it? There it is. This is a slight homing feature, so we have our go to asteroid function right here, which is just like, hey, you're going to do the same thing that homing did. You're going to use a homing projectile. You're going to use your homing component. This would be really funny if I didn't enable homing. No, I didn't. Okay, with the net with the same amplitude. And we're just saying, hey, listen, Arcball, you are going to fire off and try to detect the nearest asteroid, and then go to it. But this time we are. Where's the lifespan? Hold on. Does this have the same lifespan, I wonder? Now I'm kind of curious. Let's see. Let me override begin play. That's not what I'm supposed to do. That's fine. I don't care. I do care, but I thought I set it to. No, I did set it to be wander. Where did I set it at? Did I set it here? No, I shouldn't have. Huh. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about that for right now. Maybe I said it here actually. Maybe if I just do a lifespan. That is really interesting. Look at this. This should have a lifespan component, right? 0, 0. Unless it's in my homing that I changed, no? Huh. You know, maybe it is 0.6 seconds. Maybe I didn't think about that. No, that's okay. I'll probably change that later then. To know. But yeah, that for now, at least, that is my little personal project. Well, really assignment term personal project. It has all the core functionality that I want. All it needs now is to be expanded upon. If you have any ideas, just let me know. Like, I would love to implement them. I'm going to be working on this a bit in my free time. And if I feel like I made it diverse enough, I might also post it on itch. But we'll see. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.